It's Golfers Ruining My Life with a brand new thing. We're doing an interview series. We've called it Talk Birdie to Me. Hello, you. I'm excited, Tom.
Yes, and this is our first episode. So basically, every other Friday, you're going to get a little treat in your inbox on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And it's going to be us interviewing some of the biggest names in golf, right? We've been planning this for a few months. Some of the names we've got lined up are absolutely ridiculous. Today, on Masters Week, we're going to be talking to Masters winner, Danny Willett, in a few minutes. But the thing is, we've got someone to thank because originally the plan was to make this and then put it behind like a Patreon wall and our real big fans could come and watch this content. But then Golf Now stepped in.
Yes, Golf Now entered the chat. We love those guys. Thanks to them, they are behind this interview series. So Talk Birdie to Me is brought to you by our friends at Golf Now. It's a brilliant way to play new golf courses, and also you've got to get involved in their hot deals. This is where you can get on courses for excellent prices and play some brilliant golf courses.
Yeah, I'm always blown away by the hot deals because I used to use the hot deals all the time when I played my weekend golf in South London. And you'd find like a mid-afternoon time and it would be something mad, like all the other tee times are 40 quid and then hot deal, £12.
It's amazing.
It was brilliant.
You can play more interesting golf. You can play newer courses. It's really, really good. Make sure you download the Golf Now app. Also, for your first hot deal, if you open an account, then you'll get 10% off if you use a code. What's the code, please, Tom Green?
GIRML 10, GIRML 10, and that'll get you 10% off on a hot deal, but you need to go and download that app. There's a link in the description, obviously.
Is Augusta National on Golf Now? Because we're about to talk about that with Danny Willett, or not. Is it?
If it isn't, I'll get it added for the time the podcast finishes. How does that sound?
Love that. Thanks, guys.
So, genuinely, thank you so much to the guys at Golf Now, because without Golf Now, we wouldn't be able to do this. But let's do this. Our first episode of Talk Birdie to Me. Our first guest, Masters winner on Masters Week. Let's get him on. It's Danny Willett. Danny Willett, how are you?
Oh, good. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Absolute pleasure. And thanks for doing this, because we find you slap bang in the middle of a PGA Tour event. You've literally just come off the golf course.
Yeah, just come off the golf course. As you can tell, the decor is beautiful in the room. And yeah, no, it's been a decent day at the office, so yeah, it should be a slightly happier mood than usual.
Are you feeling good at the moment? How is your game feeling ahead of? Obviously, we're recording this a couple of weeks before the Masters, but are you feeling in good nick?
It's close. There's a few moving parts still. Obviously, still trying to get rounds under my belt and trying to play tournaments. The schedule's been a bit itty bitty because of my medical.
Is that the shoulder, right? Is that the shoulder issue?
But just everything really, because you get a limited number of events. You've got to kind of pick and choose wisely, and then obviously I'm not in the elevated events because the world ranking's low. So trying to build a schedule right now in America on the ranking on the category that I'm in is a little tricky. So yeah, hopefully we're just trying to knock off the rust. Played a few times this year.
Hang on,
and just,
can't you wave your green jacket around? I'm Danny Willett, mate. I've won the Masters.
Yeah,
Hello.
It's slightly different across. It's obviously 5-year exemption plus COVID. I got a couple, and then I've played steady at certain times. And the last few years, I've obviously been a bit rough with having to take so much time off. So yeah, it's not quite the same exemption categories in America as it is in Europe. And obviously everything in America is based off the previous year's FedEx rather than the main ranking. So it's a tricky. Don't need to bog you down with it, but it's not like everyone thinks that you can just enter every single week and play it. Don't quite work like that anymore because of how the tours have changed.
So at the moment, you're not bouncing from event to event, week in, week out. How does a normal week running into another event look like?
Yeah, I mean, I played last week in Valspar. I was like right on the cut line and then made a silly bogey on one of the holes. And because of that, we missed. And then then you have a weekend off, and then you go to the next event, try and get ready and prep. I never play the week before Augusta, so that'll be a week off. So it's one of those. I think I've not played any elevated events this year. I haven't had an invite and haven't got into any of them. So it's just kind of been a bit hit and miss really. But hopefully after April, I'll have a few weeks off again because of how the schedule falls. It's just one of those things. The easy answer is just to play better when you play.
Yeah. So you have the week off before Augusta. What are you doing? Are you hitting 1 million balls a day? Are you watching movies? What's happening?
No, it'll be kind of Mondays are usually pretty quiet. Just training and seeing the physios and stuff, and then kind of Tuesday through Friday I'll ramp it up. Do the work, do a lot of putting, do a lot of short game stuff. Try and work on a few golf shots, a few ball fights, and then obviously try and play 9 each day, potentially 18 towards the end of the week, and then I'll fly up on the Saturday. Up there Saturday afternoon, maybe clip a few Saturday afternoon, go sit in the champions locker, usually have a beer, sit on the balcony, put the jacket on, enjoy
That's
myself.
so cool.
Any plus ones, mate? Any plus ones? Or no? No, yeah, no, fine.
Any
No,
what?
don't worry about it. Don't worry. Any plus ones? Do you want to, can we? Plus two? Yeah. Two
That'd be
goobers
two, not
from...
one. Sorry, two is two.
That's true. It's an admin point. Tom doesn't need to go. I'll go. So, does anyone else enjoy? I know I wasn't going to get straight into the Masters, but obviously it's Masters week. Does anyone else enjoy it as much as you enjoy it, like that? Like going there for a beer and really reveling in the amazingness of it?
I'm sure everyone does when you get on property, you drive down Magnolia Lane, regardless of who you are. I mean, I don't know if Jack would still get a buzz out of it, Mr. Nicholas, but I certainly do. I know all the lads who obviously not played it loads of times, or even the rookies. That drive down Magnolia is just a different level. You get goosebumps when you drive down. You see the clubhouse for the first time, and then you get yourself onto the tournament practice area these days, which is like golf in heaven. And it is a really special place. It's obviously very, very special to me now. But yeah, and then I just kind of get acclimatized, get up there, get all your signing in registration done early, so you've done all that stuff. And it means then that from Sunday onwards, I can kind of play. I'll play 18 Sunday, and then 9 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday each day. And again, I've got a million notes, but it's if anything's changed, each year. Yeah. There's slight tinkering that happens. They kind of sometimes they've reshaped some greens. Obviously, they had a lot of damage up with the hurricanes a couple of years ago. So I think they're still probably trying to rectify all the damage that was done there. So the golf course will look pretty similar on TV, but it's just a little idiosyncrasies that were put notoriously moved a little bit this way. But if the greens are being relayed a little bit, it'll still do that, but it might not move as much. And it really is just 4 days of really getting all that stuff in place, and really trying to get the shots correctly, see where the misses are that week, see how firm it is. Where there's a big thing around there, they never really try and go for a score. It's not like a US Open, notoriously that enjoy it being as tough as possible. Augusta actually fluctuates quite a lot. Obviously, early in the year, we had a really cold spell a few weeks ago, where we were in Orlando. So I'm sure Augusta had exactly the same, which it means potentially that the golf course could be firm, because they'll not have to water it crazy amounts. They'll have been trying to protect it a little bit. So we'll see. It's exciting to kind of look forward and see where the golf course is going to be. And then, like I said, just through the week, you're just trying to get comfortable. Are the shots that you don't like? Is there certain things that you don't, that you're trying to work on, and just try and enjoy yourself and try and play. And then the other thing for me is, I'm fortunate enough I get to go back every year, but it is really trying to make sure the game's in a place as to where hopefully you can try and compete again.
Yeah, because it is 10 years this year, obviously, since you won. Mm-hmm. So when you turn up, do you feel like, I've got nothing to lose, I've won it, lads, I've got the green jacket? Or do you know what I mean? Or do you still walk around like, obviously you want to compete, of course you do, you still, you want to get back at the top of your game again, but do you think there's a little bit less pressure on you? And a subset to that question, is there going to be a little bit less pressure on Rory going into this week for similar reasons? It's done now, guys. Do you know what I mean?
Out of anyone, he should be the most relieved. Yeah, that was. I watched it all. We finished. I can't remember where we finished last year. Like maybe 40th or something, 35th or something. So I was watching that back nine, and I was nervous. Watching him on that back nine. It looked like he'd lost it. Then it looked like he was cruising. Then it looked like he'd lost it again. It was mental. So yeah, out of everyone, I would have thought he'd be going there. He'll obviously want to put a good show in as defending champion, but I think in terms of what he's now been able to achieve in the game, as an outsider trying to say something, yes, he should be able to just waltz around there, or float around there even that week, and really cherish it and take it in. He's been trying for the Grand Slam for a lot of time. and to then complete the Grand Slam there in the way it happened, I think was brilliant. So, me on the other hand, I go there, like I said, I'm trying to get the game back in shape, trying to compete. I've got a lot of good memories, a lot of good golf shots that I've hit. So I just want to get the game in a place as to where I'm not stood on tee shots and wondering, what's going to happen. So kind of slightly different.
So we know that Augusta National is obviously shrouded in secrecy, and being a previous winner, say for example on a day in May or something, you wanted to go and have 18 there. Have you got ways in? How does it work? Because you don't become a member, do you, when you win? Like what? How does it work?
Is it like bob@augusta.com? What's the email? Just out of interest.
I'll call JJ in the shop and basically they put your name up on the board, tell them that you want to go on a certain day. They'll put your name up on the board. And there's kind of a few in-town members that I know really well. That if they're around, they love having a game. So they'll host me.
Are they decent players as well? Are they all really good players there?
Yeah, they're all. Yes, again, it's not a rule, but it's. I'm sure it's part of it that they would like you to be of a certain standards. The golf course is hard. So yes, I assume as part and parcel they would like the members to be of a certain standard. But again, I don't know. But that would be nice.
And you just get and so you speak to JJ and he's like, I'll sort you out. So you can go and play anytime you like, basically.
Well, yeah, as long as a member is willing to host me. Yeah, but again, over the last decade, I've been fortunate enough to get to know a lot of the members really, really well, and they enjoy hosting. They enjoy hosting. They enjoy you playing, and you can tell them stories of the shots you hit here, the shots you did there. And they obviously love being on property as much as we do. So it's just it is. There's something really special about just the whole thing. Really, going out of tournament is I've only done it a couple of times over 10 years, but it is good fun. You kind of actually play it whilst trying to have a bit of fun, which is very different to the stress levels that you obviously are playing it during the tournament week. So
imagine enjoying playing it. And when you're walking around with your green jacket on, which I assume you do the whole time, by the way, does old Spiethy come up to you and just dust the old hope you enjoy that, mate. Still hurts. No, how'd you get on with him now after that? Have you talked about it?
Oh, I haven't talked about it. No, I don't think anyone talks about it. I haven't talked to Max Elmer after he chipped in on me at the last at Fortinet that year. So
fair. Yeah,
it's kind of an unwritten rule that you don't kind of talk about that kind of thing. So, but no, it is. Yeah, like I said, I'll always go up Saturday register. I'll always pop it on, and then I'll wear it little bits through the week.
So cool.
So cool. So ridiculous.
And it is, obviously Tuesday night for the dinner, which is going to be incredible this year. So just, it is. I'll pop it on a few times and then hang it back up in the locker on the Sunday night and head out.
It's such a flex. Should we talk about your winner's meal as well? Because you went very classical. You did it. Was it a Sunday roast you essentially did?
Yes, we had little mini cottage pies to start. And I went down to the Henderson's Relish Factory in Sheffield, and actually they give us like loads of little mini bottles, and my wife did like a little Yorkshire bag for everyone with like Hendo's in and little Hendo's recipe book and bits like that.
Amazing.
And then Sunday, prime rib, Sunday roast, Yorkshire puddings, all the bits, and then apple crumble. So very
Tiger
very,
Woods
very British.
had a Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
I don't know who ate it. I don't know if the guys liked it. Again, politeness, guys will probably say yes. It was a bit of prime rib beef, which you can't go wrong. Roast potatoes, you can't go wrong. Gravy, you can't go wrong. You know what I mean? There was lots of things
heavy.
In there. There's a British.
I hope there was good aircon in there.
Yeah, no, it's good. Obviously, there's been since me 10 years ago. There's then been obviously a whole host of worldwide champions. Obviously, Hideki's menu was awesome. Rambo's and Sergio's are brilliant. Obviously Scotty when he did it was really Texan and stuff. P. Reed was the same. So there's been a real
Rory's
difference.
Just creatine, isn't it? It's just pure creatine. That's what it is.
Rory's gone again. He speaks to the guys and he's gone for a really lovely classical menu of obviously foods that he likes and foods that the guys will like. So
it's brilliant.
And a cracking wine menu.
Oh, the wine list is special for Rory's. He's gone posh.
The problem is it's the day before, like the Wednesday's like your last day to play. So as much as you'd love to sit there for hours in the bar, unfortunately you've got to play the next day.
Is there a divide where the players who are past a certain age, just sit there, like Adam Scott maybe? No, he's still good enough. But are there certain players who go, oh, screw it, I'm not going to win this thing, I'm going to get on it?
Faldo on the lash.
Faldo on the lash. No, there's a couple of guys who have a couple, but it's a pretty short dinner these days. It's by the time you've done everything, they try and round everything up in an hour and a half.
Oh,
Because
I'm only
again,
just
they
getting
appreciate
going.
that guys. They appreciate that guys have. It's a tournament week. It's one of the best traditions in golf, in my opinion. But it is on the Tuesday of a tournament, so it's a bit of a mixture of how you're going. When I went there in 17 defending, I was really struggling. My back was in pieces, so I enjoyed myself on the Tuesday night and kind of just sat there and took it all in, and
Danny,
but ultimately didn't play well.
You've struggled quite a lot with injuries then, the shoulder, the back. Why is that, do you think? What's going on there? What's that all about?
I think I've always had a relatively quirky golf move. I don't always think the body's moved exactly as it maybe did. There's been a few restrictions in what I've done, and ultimately over the years I've then also travelled a million air miles and played all around the world and done everything. And there is only so much you can take. But yes, out of a few, obviously Tiger excluded, I have had.
Yeah.
I have had quite a few of it's not like major surgeries apart from the shoulder, it's more of the annoying ones where it just knocks you out for a couple of months and then it takes a couple months to get back in, and then you lose a bit of your rhythm, lose a bit of bits, you try and change a bit of technique to try and help, and it's just it does feel like it's been a bit like that. But then again, over them stretches when I have struggled, if I do get on a decent path and the body is in a good place, I've obviously then since then won 3 pretty big tournaments in Europe. It's obviously not enough. It's not what I wanted to do, but I know that if I can get back in contention with 18 or 9 to go, I've usually got a pretty good sniff. So that is the ultimate aim, is to try and get the golf back to a better consistency level, as to where you have some of those chances with 18 holes to go where you're not clambering to just make a cut or whatever. You're actually up in and around it all week in the hunt, and actually you get the juices flowing, and then everything becomes easier. Your confidence is a bit higher, and you're in around the position where you want to be. And like I said, there's different levels of like nervousness, and at times trying to make a cut on a Friday is quite nerve-wracking, if you've been a bit rusty, whereas in contention on a Sunday the nerves are different. It's a nerve because you've got a potential to do something brilliant again, so
it's not fear, it's excitement.
I'd like to get
sort of...
it is, and I've always enjoyed them nerves. I've welcomed them nerves, but the ones when you're struggling with your game and the nerves about actually you're not sure where your game is, they're two very different scenarios.
Yeah. I want to talk about nerves, actually, Danny, because selfishly, we sort of do this podcast to speak to people like yourself and try and improve our game.
Oh, that's what it's all about. Yeah, 100%.
One of the things that I've heard you talk about is going world amateur #1, and you credit your dad as a big inspiration for his approach to the mental side of golf. Can you talk us through that? Like, what do you mean by his mental game being absolutely brilliant?
It was more. I think it was more of between my mum and dad of the work ethic that they imparted. I put my mum's a teacher, my dad's a vicar. Was before they retired. So when I quit college over here at 17 to take golf up full time, there was a certain. My mum basically said that you needed to treat it as a job. She said you're not just going to like say I'm going to play golf and fob it off and do whatever, So she used to, before I had a car, she'd drop me off at the range with Graham at 7 a.m. on her way to work and pick me up at 5 every day, Monday to Friday. And that was,
wow.
that was the job you were working.
How old were you when this was happening?
17.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then I'd done pretty good in GCSEs, and then I kind of did that for a few months, and I was like, all right, I won't mind trying college in America. So then obviously passed my SATs and did all the stuff, and then got a full ride out to Jack State in Alabama and did 2 years there, and it was the same thing. They imparted a good work ethic. The Coach Hobbs was amazing. You're in the gym at 6 every morning, you're doing your bits, you've not got anyone to get you up. You don't have to do everything, but if you don't, you're going to fail your classes. If you fail your classes, you can't play golf. So I just think there was a kind of 3 or 4 year spell there where they just instilled really good values in how you go about your trade. And then every time I spoke to my dad was just a very calming influence, always has been. And just made you appreciate that what you're doing was pretty special, and never really put too much pressure on me. It's not like my mum and dad were golfers themselves. They never pushed me to go anywhere. He said, I'll never take you somewhere. He said, he's never going to say, right, you're going here, you're doing this. It was more, if I asked, or when I eventually asked to do stuff, they would drop everything they had to take me and pay for it and do whatever they needed to do. And they remortgaged their house when I was
God.
16, 17 to
I
pay for
really
golf
hope
and to
my
do
kids
everything.
aren't listening to this. If you're listening to this, son, that's not going to happen, dude. It's not going to happen.
So I bought them the house. I bought them the house now, so they're all right.
Yeah, I bet you have. Bloody hell.
Yeah, what have you treated them to? What are the big things when you've had the big
Yes.
wins? What are the big treats, either for yourself or for them?
You know what? They are the most humble people in the world and don't want anything, never ask for anything. Yeah, I remember my first ever check, Celtic Man, and first ever cut I made. My dad had always wanted a Longines watch. So my first ever check, I remember I was in the airport the week after going to Germany or somewhere, I think. So I bought him a Longines in the airport. That was his one, which at the time was for me was massive to try and get him. And then, eventually, I was able to do enough and get him a little farm out in Wales where they've retired to.
That's beautiful. Whereabouts in Wales?
In Anglesey.
Oh my goodness, that's absolutely gorgeous. What a wonderful
So
thing
we
be able
always
do,
used to go. We always used to go there as kids. We used to play the little par 3 course around the corner,
Yes.
and that's where they always wanted a place there. And
yeah.
Bless them.
Fantastic. What a thing that this silly stick and ball game has allowed you to do that. And it helps give you context, right? Because let's, be honest, you've had the injuries, your ranking has dropped, it's been difficult for you. And you need that context. And you're welcome. But it has, but that's really interesting. And but how do you dig back in? Like you've played a beautiful round today. You've hit an incredible score today. What does it take to keep going and to make sure you stick around?
You know what? There's been times where it's wavered and I've not. There's been times where you don't want to practice, you don't want to play, your body's hurting.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the game is addictively annoying, isn't it? Because I know.
There you go.
I know it is. I know full well that if I can get back on the right track and I can get everything in place, that there's still a lot of good stuff in there. So that's just what draws you in. I think it'd be quite easy to probably hang the clubs up, and I don't think anyone would say anything if you do. It'd be a bit early now, but it's one of those where, ultimately I have achieved some decent things, not quite what I wanted to in certain areas, but more than I wanted to in other areas.
Hell yeah.
So that you have just got to dig in and kind of go with it, and that is part and parcel of what brings us back to the game, isn't it? Is that any given week, if you put the work in, any given week, this game can give you everything.
Yes.
But then by the same token, you can work endlessly and tirelessly for weeks, months on end, and it can give you absolutely jack. So, it's a really sadistic game. You look at it, Scotty and Tiger over the last few years. The win percentage for even great players is probably at about 5, 8, 10%. You did that in tennis. If you did that in tennis, you'd never even make it on a tour. You did that in snooker, you'd never make it on a tour because of how theirs ours. But for us, you win 10, 11, 12% of the time, you're potentially in the Hall of Fame. So it's a really weird concept.
Yeah. Which win has been the most important to you? Obviously, the Masters really stands out, and you must get asked about it a lot. But having seen, we were only talking about it today, like watching guys win on like the Challenge Tour and Hotel Planet, and knowing that secures a life for them that they don't really have before that win. You can see how much it means to them. Which one's the most important, and which one stands out the most?
Obviously, the first one's always good to get off the mark. I came into the professional game with a decent pedigree from the amateur game. I'd won all around the world as an amateur. And I think it took, I can't even remember, it was probably 4 years it took me to win. It was in Cologne. I had a 5-way playoff with Fraser. So that was a big one to kind of lift the expectations from myself and say, right, you can win. You've won a great tournament at BMW. And then after that, they were all pretty good. I think out of all of them, I played some of my best golf at Desert Classic, obviously 2 months before Augusta in 16. But then the one that really stands out was Dubai, was over at Jumeirah, after having 3 years of really struggling with everything, to kind of play your way back into the Tour Championships, and then to beat the caliber of field, the caliber of players that I was playing against. I was up around the lead all week, and then obviously beat But I think P. Reid was up there, Rambo was up there, Rory was probably up there. He always is around that gaff.
Yes, he is.
Which was so that was a really important one after the 3 years that I'd had. That was a big win for.
It proved you could still do it, right?
In many ways. Yeah, exactly. And then Wentworth at home was in front of British crowds. Wentworth was unreal.
Oh, I love that tournament. I think that tournament needs to get more joy and light shone on it. I think it's the most fantastic tournament. When you move from the amateur game to the pro game, and there's an obvious answer here, they're better. But what is the big difference? Like, is it distance? Is it short game? What is the thing? What's the one thing that stands out where you go, oh wow, this is different. This is a different business now.
It's nothing in terms of level. I think you see that with the college kids in America now. The level that the guys come out, they are ready to play proper golf. And as was I. The England setup was brilliant. I was world number one. I'd won all around the world. Golf courses are different to what we play in Europe a lot of the time. I think the college kids potentially come out a bit better than the guys in Europe, purely because they play proper golf courses week in, week out at college tournaments.
Right.
And then the main one was traveling every week, just getting used to actually, you could play 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row, and at 18, 19, 20, when guys come out, that is what they want to do. So I think the scheduling side of it was quite important, or is probably potentially the biggest difference between, college events when everything's sorted for them, everything's done for them, they pitch up, the coach has booked everything. They play 1 week on, 1 week off, or 1 week on, 2 weeks off, whatever it may be. Whereas in the professional game, if you wanted to, like I said, you could come out the bat firing and you could play 6, 7, 8 straight weeks. So the scheduling side of it, trying to make sure that you're doing enough work and you're playing good, and knowing how your body reacts to getting off a plane for 8 hours and all this stuff. It's more experience down the line than that.
Do you ever get out there and play for fun anymore? Is it ever a casual Sunday round?
I actually did play last Sunday with Wero. I've known Paul for years and years, so we actually both missed the cut the other week, and we actually came up and stayed with us at the house in America, and we went and played, and it was good fun. Driving around on golf carts, you got your music on.
Yeah, love it.
Yes. Because then a lot of the time when I'm in America, I'll go out, I'll practice for 4 hours on your own, and I'll go play nine holes on my own. It's not like you're going out there and you are playing with loads of your mates. So yeah, it is a little different. We try to do it a good bit, because, and again, we both heard the same thing. Like, you come off and he'll be in the same position because he's playing a bit more in America now, and he don't get to travel home as much in between. It was a really nice weekend where we practiced on the Saturday with each other and had a chipping comp and all, like you did as a kid, and then on Sunday we played.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
So that was a good crack. So
yeah.
That's amazing.
Danny, we're getting towards the end of this, right? We're running out of time. Before we finish, though, we're going to ask you some very important final questions. We're going to do this at the end of every single episode, right? And we have got a selection of questions which we're going to ask, okay? It's your final ever round of golf on this earth, right? God willing, long time till that happens. We want to know your favourite course. Where is it happening? Where is this final ever round of golf happening? And by the way, we're going to make a rule, Tom, off the cuff here, can't be Augusta, because everyone would say Augusta.
Yeah,
so,
correct.
Which course is this happening at, please?
Final ever round. You could have briefed me before, so I could have had time to think.
That is our bad.
Or just take your time and we'll...
Danny, while you think about it, Tom, have you got an answer? Do you know what you would say?
Well, yeah, can I say Augusta?
Yeah. See, this is why the Augusta rules.
You know what? There's still a couple that I want to play, that I've been invited to play, that I've not had a chance. They would probably be on the list if I had already played them, but I don't know. I assume they're brilliant. Like Pine Valley and Cypress, I assume are phenomenal. I've just not had a chance to play them yet.
Okay.
Port Rush should be right up there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. St Andrews might even be up there in the fact that just the nostalgic reasons of what it is.
Those are all really great answers. In terms of finishing the 18 and having whatever it is, your selected drink, whether that's a beer or a wine or whatever.
What is your selected drink? What is your post-match tipple?
Varies. Depends where we are.
Okay.
If you're at the K Club and you've just finished, you have to have a Guinness.
Yeah. Well, do you know, that might help dictate actually the answer to this question, which is the clubhouse. The clubhouse that you imagine sitting in, or the terrace that you want to be on after that round. It doesn't have to be the same terrace as the course.
Oh, we're mixing matching now, are we?
Yeah.
Big time.
It's quite hypothetical, this. Yeah, it's unlikely to happen on the same day, just FYI.
Yeah, it would. You would struggle. Pebble's a pretty special place to have a drink after.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Pebble's pretty special.
Pebble
to be able
Beach,
to just sit out and look over.
And then finally, and don't feel you've got to include us because we've known each other for nearly half an hour now, and I know we're sort of bonded for life, to be honest, and we're looking forward to coming to Augusta with you. But your favourite four-ball, who are the other three people? Could be alive, dead, whatever. Could be fictional. Who are the other three people in this four-ball that you're going to play?
You know what? Just for like golfing purposes, you'd love to go back and play with some of the greats. Love to play with Jack in his prime, play with Arnie in his prime, Tiger in his prime. You'd probably, I mean, granted, I'd be handing over a lot of cash because I get my arse kicked, but it would be a cracking four-ball. I think that's for good. Just for out and out sports people, it'd be great to have played potentially with, Ali, Pele, Jordan, again, just some of the sporting greats that you can just ask random questions about what they did.
You're going to get a lot of time with them. It's great.
I love it.
But listen, can I just say one other question before we wrap up, Tom? Because I'm sorry, this is important.
Is it the question that I want to ask as well? I think it might be.
Obviously, we're on Team WILLETT now for the week, right? We're going to talk about you loads during the week.
Of course. WILLETT 26.
If the worst happens, and it's unlikely, but if the worst happens and you don't win this week,
correct question.
Who would you love to see win, and why is it Matt Fitzpatrick?
Which week are we talking?
Masters
week. You know what? I don't really know. I don't really know. I'd really enjoy seeing
anyone
win over me.
Fair. No, that's reasonable.
That is such a good.
Of course.
When I ever answer this question, I don't have. Weirdly, you're not going to believe this, Tom. I don't have to factor in myself in the tournament when I answer these questions in my head.
No, but I mean, I think there's some great stories. Obviously, Scott has got a chance to win 3, which is incredible. Rory back to back would after breaking his duck would be a phenomenal story. Yeah. Tiger pitching up, not only pitching up, playing.
Tiger! Dirty talk!
But I remember I was there in 19 and I finished early on the Sunday and we were flying later that night. So I remember me and my wife went upstairs on the balcony and we had a bottle of white wine looking over the 18th, which is probably a better terrace, but I couldn't say Augusta, you said. And I've never felt the energy of 30,000 patrons wanting somebody to win a golf tournament more.
Yeah.
And then when he was coming up the last, everyone from the clubhouse, staff, volunteers, everyone just all flocked out around the 18th green. It was potentially one of the best sights I've ever seen.
It's unreal, and it's the only person you'd want to hand your green jacket over to, right? Because how was that the next year? Because whenever they do it, when you see the person who won last year and they're fed up, they've come 19th and they've got to hand the jacket over to someone. Who was it? Who won it the year after you?
Mine was easy. I missed a cut, so I'd been there all weekend having to wait around drinking. Mine was between Sergio and Rosie in the playoff, so I'm really good friends with both of them.
Great.
So regardless of who would have won, it was a really special occasion because I got to see Angela and Sergio's mum and dad, and everyone was crying, everyone was excited and know what. So you get to you're in the cabin. He's picked his jacket out. He's crying. And you're like, and it was like, this is what everyone was like last year with me, like all my friends and family that were there. But you didn't see that. You were so zoned out with everything that had happened that you don't kind of pick up on that. Whereas then for me to see it. And I was just as happy for him being a close friend lovely. To be able to do that. So, that was a special one with Sergio. Actually enjoying putting the jacket on someone's probably a funky little thing around there, but it was genuinely, it was a beautiful moment.
Has he tried to talk you over to live, Sergio?
I'm sure there's a lot of guys that will have. I'm not Spanish anyway, so I can't go on that team.
I had written down on my questions, does Danny Willett consider going to live? And I thought we were getting on far too well to hammer that question in. So I refused.
I thought last question, screw it, let's see what happens.
Danny, thank you so much for joining us on the first ever episode of Talk Birdie to Me. Best of luck for the rest of the week. Best of luck at the Masters we'll be watching. Well, we'll see you in the locker room because we'll come and join you.
Yeah,
So
we'll
be
see
there.
you
There you go. We'll have a
See you
beer
Thursday.
Saturday afternoon.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Danny, you're a legend.
Danny,
Cheers, mate.
thank you.
Thanks, boys.
There you go, the Masters champion himself, Danny Willett. That is the first episode of Talk Birdie to Me. We've dropped it on a Wednesday, but in future, these are going to drop on Fridays. Thanks again to Golf Now. They are the reason we've managed to do this without a paywall. They're the reason you're getting this for free. Thank you to Golf Now. Make sure you go and download the Golf Now app. Now. Golf Now.
Say now again, Tom.
How now?
Yeah, very
Golf Now.
good. And on there are all the hot deals as well, where it's like really cheap tea times. And you can get a further discount on that by using the code GIRML10. So thank you so much, Golf Now, for making this happen. We love you. Links in the description. And we will see you in a couple of Fridays' time for the next episode of Talk Birdie to Me. And trust me, the guests only get better here on in. See you then.